How you doing? This is Nathaniel Swopes of Swope Set, and today I want to talk to you about the legendary coach Bobby Knight. Rest in peace to Bobby Knight, legendary coach, coached at West Point, coached at Indiana University, and ended his career at Texas Tech. One of the old school legendary coaches. Won a national championship with the legendary Isaiah Thomas from Chicago, Illinois. Also coached Mike Krzyzewski, who, as we all know, coached at Duke, won several championships, a mentor to Mike Krzyzewski. Bobby Knight also coached with Team USA when Michael Jordan was a rookie. So he's been around. Is a legend in the game. Of course, one of the story topics when he was coaching at Indiana is when he threw a chair across the court. One of the stories about when he coached at Texas Tech, young man he was talking to face to face and lifted his chin up to talk to him. Also, a documentary that a lot of his high school players used to complain about him being too hard. And one kid who couldn't catch the ball, he would throw the ball at him until he got better at catching the ball. And also a story a lot of people didn't know is that he actually recruited and coached Larry Bird. Larry Bird played at the University of Indiana his freshman year. Things didn't work out, so he ended up transferring and then playing at Indiana State. We also had a legendary player here in Chicago that played from CBS, that played for the University of Indiana his freshman year. Same thing, didn't really work out, but with that being said is that Bobby Knight was an amazing recruiter. This is before social media and things like that. Really, even before Sonny Vaccaro really put together those legendary tournaments to bring all-American players together. Bobby Knight was able to recruit, like I said, Isaiah Thomas here in Chicago, Larry Bird from French Lick, Indiana. He was an amazing coach, amazing recruiter, amazing competitor. And I just want to thank Bobby Knight, man, for everything that you've given to the game. I know there was some complaints about your coaching style, but, you won, played a fast break style offense, loved the press as well. And, of course, including the motion. A lot of people studied his motion and how he ran his motions and things like that. He gave a lot of opportunities to a lot of inner city African American basketball players, Isaiah Thomas included. We all know Isaiah Thomas is from the west side of Chicago, came from an unfortunate background on one of the roughest parts of Chicago, where there was a lot of gang banging and drug dealing going on. Even though he was an All-American player and top player, Bobby Knight recruited him and gave him an opportunity. Isaiah Thomas almost went to DePaul University, but he ended up, Bobby Knight talked to his mom and persuaded her that Indiana was the best decision for him, and it ended up being the best decision for Isaiah Thomas and Bobby Knight. So, a lot of, at that time, a lot of high-level coaches at high-level universities, they would take a chance on an All-American African-American kid like a Grant Hill, coming from great families and things like that. But a lot of times, a lot of these schools, a lot of these coaches, they don't really give an opportunity to inner-city kids who come from rough backgrounds. And I just want to appreciate, Bobby Knight for giving not just African-American young men coming from the inner city and coming from rough backgrounds an opportunity, but even giving a small town Caucasian kids like a Larry Bird an opportunity, because a lot of times you don't have to take these kids. And a lot of times these kids' parents, you don't know if they're going to make it to the league or to the NBA, but a lot of these kids' parents are not going to be able to donate money to the school or donate money to your programs. But Bobby Knight took a chance on these kids, took a chance on the small town poor white kids, took chances on inner city African American kids from the Indianapolis area, from the Chicagoland area. That was just an amazing thing by Bobby Knight. And of course, like I said, a lot of these didn't work out. A lot of kids would go freshman year and didn't work out, be sent back home. Isaiah Thomas even mentioned that his freshman year at the at Indiana University was really rough, and he thought about quitting. He thought about going back home to Chicago, but he stayed. And I'm happy that it worked out. Isaiah Thomas is the best player to ever come from Chicagoland area. And at the time, as we know, Bobby Knight was also one of the winningest coaches. He's one of the winningest coaches in the nation. So behind Dean from North Carolina. So it's unfortunate to lose a legend. He was 83. Getting older, so it's about that time. But another famous quote by Bobby Knight is him telling people, "I'm gonna." As young coaches coming up, as he would talk to mentor coaches, he would tell coaches, or even players, I'm going to forget more basketball I've forgotten more basketball than you know. And that's something like when you deal with older coaches or even older players, and even though as younger players, we try to come up with new concepts or new ways to do things, we have to understand and appreciate our legends, appreciate the people that came before us, because they, like he said, they probably forgotten more basketball than you even know right now. And like I said, it's tough to lose these legends. Even though I made a video about how we're losing a generation of greats. We're losing Steph Curry, we're losing LeBron James. Kevin Durant. All these guys are in their mid 30s, late 30s, and they're getting ready to transition out of the league. Chris Paul is going to be gone within the next couple of years. And that said, with the coaches that my generation grew up on, Boeheim at Syracuse retired, Krzyzewski is retired, Bobby Knight has just passed away. John Thompson at Georgetown passed away. His son is retired. So it's a new generation of coaches. And it's going to be great to see which coach steps up to be the next legendary coach, the next coach to win a lot of games every year, the next coach to win several championships. I would say, of course, the top coach right now, as far as winning a lot of games and multiple championships, would have to be Bill Self. It's unfortunate he left the University of Illinois. But again, man, to Bobby Knight, I just want to thank you again, man, for just giving inner city kids in Chicago an opportunity. A lot of Big Ten schools, bigger schools, like besides Illinois, even with Illinois, they may have taken one or two, but a lot of out-of-state universities, they just didn't take an opportunity on inner city Chicago kids, and that was one of the greatest things you did, and it worked out. I know some didn't work out. I can't remember his name, like one of the top players at CVS. But it did work out with Isaiah Thomas. And like I said, you got a national championship out of that. So, Bobby Knight, man, thank you for your way of coaching, your mentorship to all the coaches and the players that you've had. Thank you for what you've done at West Point, at Indiana, and at Texas Tech. May you rest in peace. God bless you and your family. This is Nathaniel Swopes of Swopes signing out. And you all have a good one.